Get out of here. Hey, welcome back. My name is Logan. This is Driftless Cards and Games. And today's video is dedicated to those in the community like myself who can't always pull a top chase card, who don't have unlimited budgets to dedicate towards ripping packs every day, especially when they're as hard to find as they are right now for decent prices. Don't get the wrong idea. That Zekrom that peeked in at the intro of the video is actually something I have on consignment in my online shop right now, Driftless Cards and Games. So if you want it to be yours, check out the link below. But what I want to talk to you about today are at least 5 different things that you can potentially collect or invest, if that's your idea, within the Pokemon ecosystem that may be a little bit more budget friendly or may scratch that collector's itch if you're not able to pull and complete a master set. So, with that said, like I said, I've got some of my personal collection behind me here, and I'm just going to show you a couple of things that I like to collect or that help me when I'm not able to find something at MSRP. One of the first items that I'd like to share with you are some of the more obscure-ish type vintage product. I'm talking about things that came out in the late 90s, early 2000s when Pokemon first boomed and was everywhere. So you've got things like this, if you're familiar with action flips at all. Camera isn't focusing on that great, but these are the lenticular um, collectibles. They came in usually like a little white pack. You can display them. Um, I like things like that. They also had stickers that came out at that time too. Artbox had a set of stickers. Merlin had a set of stickers that was pretty popular internationally. Picking up some product like this isn't dirt cheap, but it is also much more available. If you search on eBay, Facebook Marketplace, Mercari, anything really from that era was very mass produced, and not saying it isn't now, but I'm talking as well about some of the Burger King gold cards in the Pokeball, about the some of the tops cards that are easier to get. Bear in mind, none of this really applies to sealed product. Sealed product is still pretty rare from then, or depending on the price, but you can certainly source it in collections. So it's definitely something fun to add to a master set chase or something else like that, as some of the vintage non-core TCG type product. Definitely fun, definitely something to chase after. Second item would be some promotional type products. If you're not familiar, this is an insert from the introduction of EX Ruby Sapphire. This is when Wizards of the Coast no longer produced Pokemon trading cards and Nintendo took it over. Behind this sealed, well, it's only sealed because I put a protector on it, but this was an insert in Nintendo Power, and there's a Kyogre and a Groudon here that were Black Star promos that purchasers of the magazine could get. I also have some old magazines with old price charting. I enjoy things like this. It's not hard to find old magazines. It's not hard to find old, promotional posters and such that were inside. Those are all cool things to pick up and add to your collection that you can source for not that much if you're looking, especially if you're looking to, build up a man cave or a she shed or something that is Pokemon themed that has a lot of that nostalgia type feel. You can definitely source some product like that. Now, bear in mind the promos that I showed still attached to that sheet are not exactly cheap, but there's a lot of other product that fits in that same category. The third type of product that I wanted to share is probably the most modern that I have here, but these are some foreign language packs, in particular Chinese. This is the Chinese Gem Pack 1 and Gem Pack 2. There's also a third now. There's Pokemon 151 has several different Chinese sets that are out now that have some really cool cards that you can pull with holofoil patterns or artwork that are unique to Chinese language. Something like this you can't find in English. Something like this Umbreon does not exist in English, but does exist in these Chinese gem packs. There's a Cubone art that is just absolutely perfect, in my opinion, and I would love to pull it. I haven't yet, but you can pick up a box, a full box of that Chinese gem pack 1 or 2 for 40, 50, $60, depending on how hard you look or what kind of volume you're looking to buy. So something like that as well. It is very fun to sit down. My family opened up a box one night and came pretty close to completing, most everything in the core portion of that set. So that's a very fun option for folks as well. If you're looking for something and you don't mind foreign language cards, if it's, more about collecting and completing and admiration of the art and artists, that's definitely a viable option. Now, number 4 for me in my list of demonstration here today is kind of unique, but I have a binder of ETB sleeves. Now, some of them obviously come from older ETBs, XY era back to the original 2 from black and white, all the way up to more modern, but these ETB sleeves can be pretty displayable, in my opinion. It tells a unique story of, different sets by sets, Ancient Origins, Steam Siege, Evolution, everything, here into Sun and Moon. You can very easily put together a collection of whatever you want. Um, I know some people collect non Pokemon Company sleeves and products and play mats and plushes. There's any number of things that can be collected, of course. And this is something unique to me because, of course, ETBs are large and bulky and prone to damage, if they're sealed. But a sleeve like this, even from some of the most desirable sets, the Groudon from Primal Clash, you can purchase online for just $1 or $2 for a single sleeve. So you can produce a master set, if you will, of those sleeves for not an outrageously lot of money and put together a pretty decent collection. I've seen some other collectors online take it even a step further than I have and assemble, an entire board or backdrop with sleeves like that, or connecting arts from different cards that display better in different mediums. You can take it however you'd like. Before I get to kind of the fifth and final thing in my list, let me give you a runner up, which is some of these models and displays and little figures and a little total dial here. All kinds of different options, models here that I put together with my son. Really, anything at all. If it makes you happy and it's something that is attainable and reasonable for you to pick up and enjoy putting together to add to your collection. Everyone's collection is different, everyone's purpose for collecting is different, and that's definitely something that's welcomed in this hobby. There's all kinds of different options for everybody. But really, the last thing that I wanted to showcase is here behind me. So let me flip you around and I'll show you what's on these shelves. So back here is a lot of my sealed collection. And I do mean collection. As you can see back here, we've got all kinds of sealed Japanese booster packs, Scarlet Violet era, Sword and Shield era, back to some Sun and Moon era, when I really got into collecting sealed. Up here, we've got a lot of the Scarlet Violet, we've got Sword and Shield, and kind of what I tried to do is I've got one sealed booster pack and one sleeved booster pack for each set that has them, as well as down here specialty sets that don't have single sleeved booster packs. or some of these fun packs that can come from magazines, can come from the holiday advent calendar, etc. Down here it starts to get a little bit more sparse into vintage, of course, but when it comes to these Pop Series packs, something like this is definitely unique. It looks nice, it displays nice, even though I'm probably never going to open that Pop Series 3 pack, it means something to me just to keep it sealed there, just to keep it on display. It represents part of the hobby. It represents part of the history. It represents, something different to everybody. Up here, I've got some Portuguese language packs, some Sword and Shield, because that's when I traveled there, along with some Black and White era 3-pack blisters and a Sun and Moon collection box that I was able to pick up for, in this case, 300 Brazilian reais. So it's definitely not the world's most expensive collectible, but it means something to me, which is why it's a part of my collection. I have these sealed boxes. Not all of them, as you can see, are sealed and complete. Some of them are partial here in my collection, but it's really just about what makes you happy. So there you have it. Thanks for coming on a little tour with me of some of my collection and some of the more unique and obscure parts of my collection as well. If you like this video, I can very easily round up another 5 different categories, 5 different things, and do a follow-up video. But I really just wanted to highlight for some folks, again, who maybe aren't able to scoop up Ascended Heroes at a reasonable price. That doesn't mean that there's not space for you in the hobby. That doesn't mean that there's not something that you can't focus on, even if it is something older or something more obscure. Drop me a comment down below. Let me know what unique or obscure part of the Pokemon hobby are you collecting? What are you investing in? Let me know. I'd love to know. I'm trying to grow a community here, and I cannot wait to read some of your comments down below. I will see you in the next video. Please like and subscribe if you would, and this sounds interesting and you'd like to see some more of it. Thanks so much. The algorithm and I thank you. Have a good one. Bye.